Hey guys, I'm going to show you how I manage to make flips every day in a consistent way. Actually, you can go to my accounts and you can check the history and you can see it yourself, but I'm going to show you a couple just for the reference. For instance, I got this one for 0.68 and then I resold it for 2.29 in 10 hours. And then there was this one which I got for uh, 0.22, and then again almost in 10 hours I would say it is sold for 0.75. There is a lot more here from different collections, and there are smaller ones, there are bigger ones. The floor of this collection is something like 0.01, I guess, but I still managed to sell it for 0.12. So obviously the profit is smaller here, but ROI, which is return on investment, it's quite high. So I don't usually go for collections which are cheaper than zero point 0.1 floor, but I make exceptions for trending collections. So I have another account here if you want to take a look at. So, again, in the activity you will see that there are many flips. These are the offers actually. If you filter out the sales here, so this one I don't even remember the details, but I got it for 0.25 and I resold it for 0.58. I think it was, yeah, it's like 24-ish hour ago. Anyway, just if you are interested, you can check the history of the sales. However, what I'm going to show you is the strategy I follow for doing this kind of consistent flips with rather high return on investment. What I do is I spend a lot of times looking at these two tabs on nftnet.com. Also, I spend considerable amount of time on the social tab to see the traction of the collections are getting. However, as I mentioned, I mainly focus on these two. I follow the hot mints and then I follow the trending collections. There are actually two different strategies which are similar to each other. One of them consists of bidding right after the reveal. This is a slightly different strategy. I might explain it in another video if you guys want me to. In this one, I'm going to explain how I make profit on trending collections, because obviously these ones were all trending collection. God Hates NFT has been trending for I think 24 hours. Recently, actually, it stopped trending, but it was. If we check the one day, I think it will be up here somewhere. Yeah, it's here. So let's go back to 1 hour. What I do is I check the collections that have been trending for 15 minutes, and then if I watch them, if they keep trending on different time ranges. One thing I want to make sure is, for instance, for Ursa Party, there is 41 sales in the last 15 minutes. This might be worth watching, so I might want to add it to my watch list. However, one thing I would like to make sure is that these sales are not coming from a single whale who's sweeping the floor. So you might want to see the sales are actually coming from different buyers. OpenSea is not loading properly right now, but I guess you understood what I meant. I will just go back to this page and explain it later if, yeah, actually they are here. Yeah, this is what I meant actually. So is it trending? Yeah, technically, but it is just one whale sweeping the floor. So it might not add up to the hype. Yeah, so this is one, it was actually a good example, so I was able to show what I meant exactly. Anyway, so what made me decide that I should bid on God Hates Me, and then God Hates NFTs, sorry, and then how I managed to get so many of them. So let's go to God Hates NFTs. First of all, you notice that actually there is quite a considerable volume in the last 7 days, and in the last day they made over 500 Ethereum. So it obviously shows that there is interest in this collection. Here in the analysis, you can see that floor price has been climbing here. So something happened here. For some reason, they started skyrocketing and then they reach 0.45. Usually, in these cases, uh, if the collection has been trending for a couple of hours, there is going to be uh, up and downs. And usually, these are my favorite points. Because the thing is, it is very hard to buy NFTs with offers when the collection is skyrocketing. So what I do is I try to get NFTs when the price point is either a little bit consistent or when it is fluctuating like this. However, it's not easy to get NFTs with collection bidding, and even if you get it done with the collection bid, there is not a big profit margin, right? I mean, maybe you get one with a collection bid, then you resell it, but then at the end of the day, you will be making 0.05 or in best case scenario 0.1 Ethereum. So what I do is I almost only in this type of collections do rarity bid. So let me show you what I mean. Let's go to the bidding page. You can technically, in theory, make this manually as well. I don't know if it is really possible, but you can try. I obviously use nftnet.com, which is my software too. So I here create different templates. So you see I different custom templates. For instance, in this one, I bid on rarity up to 50, but with different price ranges for different ranking ranges. So in this case, I was bidding 0.15 to 0.3 for NFTs in the top 10 ranking, and then for 11 to 20, I have a different price range, and for 21 to 30, I have a different price range, and it goes on like this. So what I usually do is I create different custom rarity tables, just like the one you see right now, and I go up to usually 150. For 150, you will see that there are many collections that I either wrote 150 or 100. So for instance, if I go to 150, this is another collection I made many flips, I think 3 or 4, maybe 2 or 3, I don't really remember. However, you see the logic is the same. Moon runners was the same. So if the hype is extremely high, like Moonrunners had, and it lasted for a couple of days, I can go up to 300. I usually prefer stay in the range of 200 first 200 rankings, but my favorite is the first 100. So why? The reason is if you manage to get something in the first 100 or first 150, even if the floor goes down, it is very likely that it is going to get sold at some point. For instance, you remember the small flip I showed you in the beginning of the video? The floor went down to 0.02. However, I managed to sell it for 0.12 or something like this. Let's check again. It is somewhere here. Yeah, this one. Yeah. So even though floor dumped really hard, since it was a good rarity, I think in the top 100, it sold for, it was ranked 67. I even myself get surprised how they get sold. But yeah, this is how it works, usually at least. Actually, you know what? Let me show you a couple more interesting sales. I will get back to the video. Because I personally thought those wouldn't sell. But yeah, they keep selling. So if you get a good rank, that is, it's a safer approach. So for instance, I sold this for 0.19, even though floor was super low. No, I don't have the extension here, so 0.035, and I managed to sell it for 0.19. Yeah, so this is one of the cases, actually a good case example, because I paid quite a decent money for this. However, what I did was the floor was 0.075 by the time I got this, if I'm not wrong, and since it was a good rarity, which was rarity like, let me check, it should be in top 100, I still managed to sell it for a small loss or a small profit margin, maybe at the break-even point. Yeah, it was in the top 100. But also be careful, the supply was very small. So having a rank 78 for a collection of 10,000 is a lot more rare than this one, because it only has a small number of supply. Anyway, if we go back to the topic, so this is how I set my filters. Actually, these are the real filters I used earlier, and I go up with the collection, obviously. So what I do is, I don't know if it is a nice way of putting it, but I start making a collection and I keep going until my bits are not being accepted anymore, and I move with the floor price. What I mean by that is, obviously, I'm not going to offer this high when the collection floor is only zero point 0.1. However, at some point, when it reaches to 0.5, and if I'm confident that the rare ones in the collections are being sold for high prices, then I can adjust my bids accordingly. What I mean by that is, let me show you how I check it personally. You can check it on the NFT in it and see the last sales, but what is a better indication is actually sorting it from highest last sale. So here you can see on the extension that this rank 16 was sold for, let's see how much. Yeah, actually shows that 2.69, 2.69, 2.5. This is mine. I have the fourth highest sale. Yeah, so after seeing this, I kind of get confident that this rank range is being sold. There is demand for it. However, you should still be careful, because the demand was there when the collection was hyping, right? So if it starts not hyping at all, if the sales slow down, I will take it easy, just the way I did right now, because it's not trending anymore, you see, at least for the moment. Oh, actually it started trending. Let me check in the 1 hour. In 1 hour, you see it still hasn't gotten into the list, at least high in the list. It is here. So if the collection starts trending again, yeah, I will again start putting my bids. But for this moment, I'm just going to stop and wait. And another thing is, like, at some point the collection gets saturated. People who are open to accepting bids are going to start dropping. But again, you have to see it with the analysis part. If there is a sudden dump, and if you are confident that the project is at least going to stop the dump at some certain point, that it's not going to go to zero, check the Moonrunners. Its price was at almost a zero point 0.8, if I'm not wrong. Then it went down to 0.2-ish something. Now it is at 0.4. The reason for that is, like, if a collection has been trending for a long time, then there are many waves getting involved, and which is keeping the price at least somewhere better than zero. There are other examples which didn't work out like this. It's a risk I take, which takes me to another point, the reason why I don't hold them for super long. My objective is to make profit with a good return on investment. If you are buying this and holding it, it is a whole different story. Like, you can do it, obviously, and some people held Bored Ape Yacht Clubs, but that's not what I do. I'm a flipper. My objective is to flip everything in 24 hours, possibly in 12 hours. But I usually don't want to go more than a couple days at max, because then it is conviction, it is something else. So I'm not going to get sad if God hates whatever God hates NFTs goes to 1 Ethereum or 2 Ethereum, because it was a single transaction at that particular time and it made me profit. That is what I keep in mind. I actually spent quite a lot of time in the analysis tab. I checked the floor and listing comparison, see how many active listings are there. Is it increasing? Is it decreasing? I checked the holders event. I checked the floor strength and many other metrics. For instance, I showed you how the rare ones were being sold in a collection by sorting them here, but I also checked them here as well. Where was it? In this graph, I checked the sales and ranking. As I mentioned, I don't want to spend so much time here because it's a whole different video. However, what I'm going to tell you here is like as you spend more time looking at these graphs, working on these graphs, after some point you start to understand the fluctuations and the market better. It is like working on Excel, literally, or just playing a video game. The first time you play Street Fighter or Tekken or whatever, Need for Speed, whatever you are playing, or World of Warcraft, the game looks super complicated and you don't know which button to press. But after 100 times, you become a pro, right? Like you don't have to look at the buttons you are pressing anymore. Or it's the same with using Excel. I used to be an independent financial auditor, and we were working so much with Excel tables. I still remember the shortcuts. For instance, opening for creating a new column, the shortcut was Control O C A, right? And then there are simpler shortcuts, which is Control B, which makes it bold, whatever. So the thing is, if you do it every day for a long period of time, at some point as soon as you see the graphs, you understand where the collection is going. I mean, maybe understanding is a strong word, but then you have strong indications. That's at least how I should put it, I guess. However, I want to talk to you something even more important, which is the actually loss sharing. This is a mistake. I mean, for making flips is important, right? Because we are making profits. However, it is super easy to lose all of those profits that come from your hard work in a matter of moments. Whenever I do like many profitable, successful flips, I get too cocky and then I make the FOMO decisions. FOMO, which stands for fear of missing out, actually leads people to mistakes. So if I try to stay in my line, which is flipping depending on analytical data. Whenever I go out of my lines, I start losing money. So if a collection is trending on the NFT page or OpenSea, if I jump into the collection without, and I do that still after many hundreds of flips, if I jump into the collection without checking the analytics works, without relying on data, 95% of the time I lose Ethereum. 5% of the time I get lucky, but it doesn't mean anything because those losses take away the profit you have worked so hard for very easily. I mean, it's so hard to make money, it is so easy to lose money. So, yeah, maybe this is even like more important than my strategies because I see so many people jumping on hype trains and getting dumped along the way. Yeah, I should even make a tattoo of this on myself because even if I think that I'm a good flipper, I almost always fall for this mistake. I just made it again, even though I had promised myself that I wouldn't have done it. So yeah, I think it's a good way to finish the video. Anyway, if you guys have any questions, I might have missed some points. Actually, you know what? Let me just go over here. In the profit sharing, I share my profits. Also, this is not the only way you can do it, by the way. There are all different kind of, for instance, this is from minting. So I minted this collection from 0.22, which is extremely expensive, not extremely, but it is quite expensive, while the trend is actually free mints right now. And I resold them with an average of 0.6, I think, 0.55 or 0.6. But the thing is, I still relied on data and my previous experience. Let me show you what I mean. Actually, it was the first alpha call I posted ever here. So it is the very first post here. This is how I do my homework. You see how I know the team, how I have their infos, what the pros and what the cons are. I actually knew these people from Amazon environment, but still I made my research again. And yeah, that's how I got, like, I was confident enough to buy 40 of them, and then that's how I flipped it. So there are different strategies. Actually, there's a reveal alert. Let me see if it is something good. Oh, it was 20 minutes ago. I missed it. Anyway, uh, what was I saying? Yeah, the profit sharing. There are different kinds of methodologies people follow. Bidding is not the only one, obviously. There are many profits from ranking house, which is basically the event feed. I don't know what BT didn't explain where he got it from, but yeah, you see, like this is uh, a good ROI still. Uh, Everybody has like different methods. You, I don't know if he got it from bidding, Russian mob bursts. Yeah, it's a huge ROI. Yeah, anyway. In the previous video, I think I explained the ranking house, so I'm not going to go into details. But yeah, that is another way of making profits, right? And then right after the reveals, not even at reveal sniping, if you watch so many reveals and how if you understand how the collections start behaving after the reveals, actually they are very similar to each other. How the price goes up and how right after the reveal there is the uh, panic sales, and how those panic sales actually trigger some people to paper hand their by paper hand I mean, for those who are new to NFTs, paper hand means people who are more willing to sell in a panic moment. How those people sell their rare NFTs thinking that the project is dumping. They are mistaking a dump with a post reveal uh, price decrease, floor price decrease, let's put it that way. So that is actually a good window of opportunity that I try to uh, make advantage of all the time. However, I think it is better that I explain it in another video, since in this one I wanted to focus on bidding on trending collections. And guys, by the way, like people ask me, how do you do it every day consistently, many flips with good draws? Like if you are not telling the nuances or secrets. I'm telling you the secret. The secret is spending time on it. That's the only secret. I'm not doing anything that I am not mentioning in the videos. However, the problem is people want the ready product without doing anything at all. So I have a course on Udemy. I actually upload it on YouTube as well. 2 hours. I explain all the strategies I know. And also in videos like that, I explain them too. But whenever I tell people, not everybody, but I got this response one too many times, like watch the videos and the course, and the response is like, oh, am I going to watch the whole thing, which is 2 hours? Yes, that is the secret. Like if you don't watch it, obviously you are missing parts and bits, and then since you don't understand the bits, they become the secrets, right? Like that is the secret. The problem is people don't spend time on it. Like I am spending probably 10 to 15 hours every day, not entirely on bidding. However, these analyses that I'm doing every day relentlessly are helping me with bidding. So yeah, I spend so much time on the analysis part, and then it provides me when to bid and how much to bid, and being at the right spot at the right time. Anyway, I think I could explain what I wanted to in this video. If you have any questions, just shoot me the questions on Discord channel. Have a good one, everyone. I wish you happy trades and happy flips.